Hi, I'm Stephanie,
And I'm Justy, and
and together
together
we're
we're
losing
losing
it.
it.
We've each lost over 100 pounds with the help of diet, exercise, and breaking bad habits. And I also had weight loss surgery in 2020.
And I recently had skin removal surgery.
We're just sharing our journey and what we've learned throughout the process.
And we're not doctors, so if you have any medical questions, reach out to your doctor.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here to talk to you today about a Mounjaro update. As most of you know, or if you didn't already know, Justy and I both chose within the last year to add Mounjaro to our journey to kind of help us cross the finish line, I'll say. At least that's what it was for me. I think that kind of is what it was for Justy too, because we were really struggling at the end of our weight loss journey. Well, I guess there's never an end, but
Right.
like I said, crossing the finish line, getting us into maintenance.
Right.
And so I started Mounjaro back in October of last year. And I took it for about 8 months. And then Justy started it earlier this year. She took it for about 5 months. She's been off of it for about a month. I've been off for 2.5, 3 months or so. Um, and we've both noticed some differences. And I'm just going to go right in.
Mhm.
I have gained back 10 pounds. Now, I will say those 10 pounds are within the last like week or so is when I noticed it. I don't weigh every day. But I weighed when I came back from a work trip and I almost passed out because I was like, what the fuck is this? But I was also very swollen and bloated and like I was worked to death on that particular trip. And I think I just did too much and I ate a bunch of junk and my body was feeling it. So I don't know if it's a true 10 pounds. I might weigh myself tomorrow. We'll see. But I'm just after that, I found the scale a little bit triggering. But I do know that I gained, and I do know that I have had the thoughts of food, the cravings, like all of that stuff has come back. Now, for me, it came back a couple of months ago, but I felt kind of like armed and ready for it. Like because I've seen other people come off and I know what it's like and I've been there before, but I thought I had it kind of under control because I had a workout routine. I was meal prepping, like I was doing all the things. And then my world got kind of rocked because I moved. It was a very challenging move. Um, it's summer, so my stepdaughter's here a lot. My work kicked up this month and I'm doing a lot of travel. And like I said, this last one was particularly busy and I survived off of M&Ms half of the time that I was there. And that's by choice. I own it. I own that. I certainly could have eaten something else. I had other food, but I kept going back for the M&Ms. Whereas if I was still on Mounjaro, I don't think I would have gone. I'm not saying I wouldn't have had M&Ms, but I don't think I would have had 10 little mini packs over the course of the days that I was there. So things like that, it's creeping back in. And so that's kind of where I'm at with it. I want to let Justy talk about where she is with it too, but it's just the thoughts were there and I was able to control them on my own until, like I said, things flipped upside down for me. And then I feel like I just kind of lost control. And what we talked about we're going to do is Justin and I are going to build our plan right here, right now, while we're on this Zoom together. We're going to build our plan for what we're going to do now that we're off Mounjaro. So I'm going to let you talk about where you're at since coming off about a month ago.
Yeah, so I came off of it about a month ago. A couple of reasons why. A, I can't get it, and I don't want to pay out of pocket. B, I just don't want to be on medication for the rest of my life. And I feel like I've come this far. I can do it. And the reason I went on Manjaro was to kind of get me, well, hey, I just wanted to know what it was like because Steph explained it and all these people were explaining. I'm like, let me check
That
this.
sounds amazing. Yeah.
Right. Like, let me check this out. Let me see how this is. So I had only intended on staying on it for a short amount of time. So, now coming off of it, I have noticed, well, I noticed some habit changes while I was on Manjaro. I had no cravings for food. All the chatter that's been in my head my entire life, I didn't have. I did have constipation. I did have kind of dizziness and stuff sometimes. And dry mouth, some weird side effects, but I didn't think about food. I literally could just plan my food and in my head and just be like, that's what I'm gonna eat today. And then no drama around it at all. So I've been off it for a month. And during that 5 months that I was on it, I didn't really plan my food like I was doing while before I got on Mounjaro. So I'm out of that habit, but I've noticed the chatter really, really coming back strong. Like I'll be here at night and I'm like, ooh, let's see. I have some sugar-free chocolate pieces in the cupboard. And before I wouldn't, when I was on Mounjaro, I didn't even think about them. And so now the difference with me is that I haven't gained weight yet. I have been still fighting my choices and making pretty good choices, but it's the chatter, it's the cravings, it's the thoughts. And so I feel like I'm back to this battlefield.
Yeah.
And um, but I feel like what I need to do is accept that it's always just going to be a battlefield. So it is what it is. Like, get past it, stop whining about it, and what are you gonna do about it? So I haven't gained weight. So my lowest I've been since it was 183, but that was also the day after my colonoscopy. And I am like 186 today. So I've gained 3 pounds from my lowest. And my goal weight has been 180, but I'm very, very happy and comfortable being between 180 and 190. So I'm still right there. I haven't gained any weight yet, but I've noticed the chatter and I want to stop it before it becomes a regain.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And same. So I didn't even really get into that, but same for me. I don't want to go back on it. I think I could now. I don't know that I couldn't get it anymore. I knew it was coming and I just decided to pull the trigger and stop getting it. And I may have given Justy what I had left over and I'm not supposed to do that, whatever. She was prescribed it anyway. So whatever. So come arrest us. And so I was like, I just need to stop. And my husband said the same thing. He was like, Steph, just rip the Band-Aid off. He's like, you can do this. Like, you can do this. There's no reason why you can't do this. You're just maintaining. Losing is one thing, maintaining is another. Maintaining is scary, but at the same time, it's not as restrictive as losing. So he's like, you can do this. Okay, great. And I was for a while, for 2+ months, I was doing it. And I was super proud of myself. And I kind of shocked myself, to be honest. And I think maybe I was so surprised by it. That's when I started letting things kind of slip. But I'm in the same boat, though. I don't want to be on a medication for the rest of my life. I stopped taking blood pressure medication. The only thing I take is my vitamins and allergy medication. I don't want to have to take a medication. I'm 46. I'm not 76. Like, I just don't want to have to take a medication. So I feel like I want to be able to do this without it. And I feel like I probably could get it again prescribed if I wanted to, because I know other people through my surgical office that have had it prescribed and it's approved through their insurance. So I feel like I probably could. I just don't want to go down that road. And so what I told Justy was, I want to go back to, I am in regain, small regain, but I don't want to let it get out of control. We had Jeannie Boyer on here. We did our regain podcast. If you haven't listened to that one and you feel like that could be beneficial to you, I would say go back to it. And when we asked her, what is the one thing you would tell people when they first start to see regain? And she said, she always tells people, you don't have to track, because we don't want to track our food. We don't want to live that restrictive life to where we're like paying to like putting something in an app and all of that. I'll do it if I have to, but I don't feel like I have to. She said simply writing it down, holding yourself accountable. And I say that because what made me think of it was earlier today, I've been running around today. I was super busy, came home, threw my last meal prep in the microwave. While it was heating up, I was putting groceries away and I saw these Oreos in the pantry. And I ate 3 of them while my food was heating up, and I told Justy, I'm like, I have to practice what I preach. We talk about this all the time. Like, I'm not going to die or get pregnant waiting for my meal to heat up in the microwave. Like, I will be fine. It was 3 minutes. Like, I can wait for that. But instead I chose to eat the Oreos, but there's no accountability. If A, I don't say it out loud, or B, I don't write it down, there's no accountability. There's nobody here. The only one that knows I ate those Oreos is me, until I shared it with Justy, and now I share it with you. But I remembered in that, after like going through that in my mind, like, why did I do that type of thing? It's exactly what Jeannie said. Write it down, because those Oreos don't count until I'm accountable for them. So that's what I'm gonna start doing. My plan number one for combating this slight regain is to just simply write it down and hold myself accountable for, I made that choice. Nobody made it for me. I didn't even enjoy it. I ate them so fast I didn't even enjoy them.
Right. Like if I'm gonna have Oreos, well, if I'm gonna have a cookie, it's not gonna be an Oreo. No
True.
offense to Oreos,
They were
but
birthday cake Oreos, and they're pretty good. So
okay. I'm gonna have like one of my chocolate chip cookies.
you're right.
Which actually one of my bakers was like, I make the best chocolate chip cookies. I'm like, no, I do. So we might have to have a cookie off, but whatever. So for me, and you know, the moment you said that, my little asshole in my head is like, but I don't want to write things down.
Right.
But like, listen, I scroll on Facebook and Instagram at least 10 minutes a day. I can definitely have time to write this shit down.
Right. And it's quick. It's just like
Yeah.
3 Oreos and fuck. I ate 3 Oreos and now I have to
Right.
put it down.
Right. And so for me, because I talked a little bit earlier about getting outside, getting away from my planning, because I always plan my meal my food in the morning, and I stuck to the plan. If it wasn't on the plan, I didn't eat it. If I had a craving for something, I put on the plan tomorrow, and I would wait and I would eat it tomorrow, and I'd be okay with that. And that worked really, really, really well for me. But without having all the cravings and the thoughts of food, I just got out of planning. So I'm going to plan my meals at night. And then I'm going to evaluate it at, the next night when I'm doing my meal plan. So writing stuff down.
Yeah.
I don't like to write stuff in my iPhone because it's just tiny and I can't see. So and I've had my iPad uncharged for a minute. So I'm going to charge up my iPad and put it next to my bed. So at night when I have my tea, I'm trying to be very specific. So I make sure I do this. I'm going to have my tea at night with my Miralax in there. Got to keep the train moving. And then I'm going to write down my plan. And then before I write down my plan, I'll evaluate my day. Like, how did I do? I've got in the habit though, and I just thought about this, we were having this macaroon madness trying to get these macaroons made with this stupid oven and stuff. And I was like literally eating macaroon shells every day to see if they had the right texture and if there was holes in them and this and that, to the point where I was spitting them out. But now, because we now figure out the process, every time I'm in a bakery, I feel like I have to eat a macaroon, but we figured out the process.
Right.
I don't have to eat them anymore.
Right.
I'm still eating them. So little stuff.
And as well as I do, you can break one and see if it's the right consistency.
Yes, I can tell. I don't have to actually stick it in my mouth. So, so little stuff like that. So I'm not going to eat anything I don't plan. If I want Oreos or macaroon, I will plan it. And sometimes even on my plan, I'll put, one sweet. I'll have one sweet. I have 5 bakeries, right? So I'll have a sweet, but it'll be like a mini tart, or it'll be a macaroon, or it'll be a salted caramel brownie. It won't be like the entremet or the whole, layered tort, all that stuff. So a little tiny snack here and there, I'll plan it, and then I'm okay with it. It's when I'm eating uncontrolled, not on my plan, is when I don't realize how far off my plan I am.
Right.
Yeah.
And well, I don't write my plan down quite like Justy does. I did meal prep for the week. I didn't do it until Tuesday just because I was traveling for work and everything. And that's just when I got to it. Like I said, I ate the last of it was like a sweet potato with barbecue chicken, whatever. I ate the last of that. But I still have soup in there. So that soup is going to be, I'll eat that tonight. And then I have it again for tomorrow, but I leave right back out for work again on Tuesday. And so I have to be really diligent when I'm traveling for work. So this is where it's going to come in handy for me, where I don't have meal prep for this week. I have my last couple soups to have. But it's when I travel, I will be eating out. And it's hard. It's really hard when you're eating out to like always, when you write in your plan, like best choice, okay, because you eat out every once in a while, you have best choice. But when you're eating out every day, like best choice, right. Sometimes like, oh, I just really kind of just want like those wings. And I'm not demonizing wings or anything, but I just know that that's not enough for me anymore. Have wings. When I was on Mounjaro, I was fine with that. To just have wings, I was getting, because I was so laser focused on protein. But now I know that I need to round it out more than that, because if I eat just wings, just protein, I'm going to be hungry again. in, 2 hours. And I don't want that. So I have to really just think through, plan through. It's me. No one's traveling with me. I'm going to choose all the places that I'm going to. And so I have
Right.
to start choosing wisely. I can't just have it be a free for all, like wherever, oh, this place has really good this, that, and now I'm getting dessert and whatnot too.
Right.
So I have to go back to the mentality that I had before when I was traveling of bringing my protein shakes with me, bringing some protein bars with me,
Going to the store once you get there.
stopping at the store when I
Yep.
get there, grabbing my water,
Mhm.
all those kinds of things. So I know I'm Tuesday through Friday travel this week. So I know that I have to do the things. I have to practice what I preach. I have to do all the things that I've said before that I need to do. And for that matter, while I'm not meal planning, I'm going to, or meal prepping and I'm going to write down what I had, every
So when
bite.
you're when you're writing down what you're having during the day, how are you doing that? Are you going to write it down as you go? Are you going to write it down at the end of the day? Are you going to have a notebook that you're writing it down?
I'll do it in my phone. I know you don't like to in your phone. I take lots of notes in my phone. I'll do it right in there. And as I go, because otherwise I could
You forget.
have that Oreo amnesia where like, oh, I had for lunch, I had this, for dinner, I had this. Well, what happened between lunch and dinner?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have to be accountable for, is all of that stuff. And I'll forget about it if I don't write it down. And knowing that I'm writing it down, it's going to make me think twice about it, because it's a reality. Before it was
Right.
just kind of like, it doesn't count because nobody's here to see it. Like if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there, did it make a sound, right?
Right.
That Oreo is making a sound.
Well, and the thing is, and I guess what I also want to make sure that people understand is you can have 3 Oreos, right? But the fact is, for me and my journey, the Oreos, it's not about the 3 Oreos. It's about eating when I'm not hungry. It's about snacking on stuff that I don't need when I got food in the microwave.
Right.
It's about being lonely at night and being like, ooh, let me go get those, chocolate chips out of there.
Right.
So it's not about the Oreos. 3 Oreos is not the reason that you gain 10 pounds back.
Right.
It's the eating little bit here, little bit there that's not either on plan or you're not hungry and you're
And
eating.
beyond
Right.
full, because I have been
Right.
eating beyond full. It's like,
Mhm.
well, I got just this little bit left. Well, I don't have
Right.
to eat it. And it's funny
Right.
because someone said that the other day. I met up with some friends. It was Friday. I met up with some friends for lunch, and it was a group of us, and they were like, nobody ate like a spring roll, and everybody's like, you want the spring roll? Does anybody want some? I'm like, oh, I'm full, I'm full. And then the one person was like, well, I'm just gonna eat it. We don't waste food around here. And I was like, newsflash, it's gonna be waste whether you eat it or not. You're gonna
Right.
put it out, and that's waste. And but here
Right.
I'm like, I say it, but I'm not doing it. So
Mhm.
I'm just like, I have to like snap out of it. So now I'm going to do exactly what Jeannie told us, because it does. In fact, I know that it works for me when I write the stuff down, and I'm not counting how many calories it was. I'm not putting
I'm
it
not
into a
doing
food
any of that.
tracker. I'm simply writing down what I had, so I'm accountable for it. Because I know how many calories are in, or around about how much more. So I focus on protein, but I know what I'm getting out of each of my meals. I've been doing this long enough. I don't need to, you know, put it into a tracker all the time. But
Mhm.
just being accountable for what I put in my mouth. Now, I
Right.
also know cookies are my kryptonite.
Mhm.
Whether it be an Oreo, whether it be one of Justy's chocolate chip cookies, which I've had, whether it be a macaroon, cookies are my kryptonite. So when I was grocery shopping today, my stepson's coming tomorrow. And I was thinking to myself, oh, well, he likes chocolate chip
Okay.
cookies. And my husband likes chocolate chip cookies. Well, fuck, I like chocolate chip cookies. And I was going to go get them a package of chocolate chip cookies. And I was like, no, because
Mhm.
this is your kryptonite. So what
Right.
I did in the past before, I'm gonna do again. I got the little Nestle Toll House Snap and Bakes,
Mhm.
because if I want a cookie, I'm gonna have to snap them and bake them
Right. Instead of just going and grab it.
instead of just grabbing a cookie.
Yeah.
And that takes more than it does to grab a cookie. Like I have to really really be invested. And if I
Right.
want to have 3 of them, then now I'm really invested, because how many am I snapping off of there and baking? So I
Right.
like to get, because I'm not going to deprive everybody else in the house, because I can't control myself around cookies. So
Mhm.
that has kind of been my fix for that. I'll put the snap and bakes in there. They can snap and bake their own.
Mhm.
There's directions on the package, but at least everybody can kind of have what they want. And if I really want one of those cookies, I have to work hard for it. So
Mhm.
it's
That's a good idea though. I might do that because I like same thing. I love cookies. But I don't trust myself to have a bunch of cookies in the
like a whole
house.
package because there's like 20.
Yeah.
You go to the bakery department and there's like 20 cookies in there. I don't fucking need 20 cookies, but
Right.
I'll eat them if they're sitting.
Right.
And then I'll be like, oh, they're going to go stale if we don't eat these.
Right. But it's crazy how when I was on the Mounjaro, how I didn't even think
Yes.
about cookies.
No.
The cookies could be in there and I'm like, cookies. It's just so crazy how that just changed my
Yeah.
mindset and my brain. And sitting here talking about it, people, are probably like, well, shit, bitch, just go back on it, make your life easy,
Yeah.
but I
I mean,
don't,
and that's but we
I
want to
don't
learn how to
agree.
live without having to do that. And maybe we won't. Maybe we won't be able to, but we're gonna give it like our best.
Yeah.
We're gonna put every plan in place that we know how to give it our best. So we're not putting something in our body that we don't have to. Now, that being said, for people who really truly do need it, and I may find out in 3 more months I am that person,
Right.
no shame there. Everybody makes their
Right.
choice, just like I made my choice to go on it. And when I went on it, it was before the whole Mounjaro buzz came around. Because when I went
Right.
on it, I went head between my legs, tail between my legs, head down to my doctor, and I was like, I gained like 40 pounds. And he was just like very matter of fact and laid it out there for me. Here's your options. We could do a revision surgery. And I was like, no. He's like, yeah, I don't think we're there either. I'm just laying out the options. He's like, there's some weight loss medications. And so he started talking to me about them. And he mentioned this particular one. I was like, ooh, a shot. He's like, I do think it's the best thing for you. And he explained to me it's, originally for diabetics. And he went through the whole like what it is. He's like, but we found a lot of success with weight loss. And I was like, write the script for me. I need to think about this. So he wrote it and I thought about it, but I didn't know anyone else was taking it. I didn't know anything about it. And
Mhm.
then as soon as I was like, I'm going to go public with this on my Instagram because I didn't want to come off like a fraud. Like,
Right.
look at me, I'm maintaining my weight or I'm losing weight. Like, I don't want people to not know. Like, I'm not doing this on my own. I'm doing it with help. And I want to
Right.
be honest about it. And I own my decision. You don't have to like my decision to have weight loss surgery, and you don't have to like my decision to use weight loss medication.
Right.
But that's my choice.
Mhm.
And now I'm in a place where I'm choosing to stop taking it and to try to maintain on my own. I don't know that I'll be able to, but I really want to give it my best. And that's why once I saw that 10 pounds, I was like, okay, here we go. We got to kick it into high gear. And so high gear for me, first step is just writing it down for accountability.
Yeah, and for high gear for me is realizing it before I have any weight gain and start meal planning because that's what worked for me. That's how I lost, the majority of my weight. So with the Mounjaro, I didn't have to do it, and yeah, it was like 5 months of freedom. um, but a reality is I'm the same. I'm a stubborn person, and again, I'm very open to the fact that if this is because I know what it's like to be on it. If this is something that in 6 months from now, I'm like, shit, like, I need this drug, or my weight loss is much more doable with this drug, then I'll look into it. I'm not against it. I don't think anybody's bad for being on it. I was on it. But for me right now, I want to try it without.
Yeah.
Um, just to kind of see. And that's kind of what I did when I started the Mounjaro was like, I just want to see what this is about. And it was like mind blowing at how I just didn't think about food. And I never felt like super, super hungry and I didn't have cravings. And it sounds like a miracle, but there's side effects. And it's
Yeah.
the fact that you're on a drug
Right.
that you have to inject into your body every week. And,
And it's just another thing to do. And it has to
right,
be refrigerated. And you
right,
know what I mean? And then you gotta let
right,
it pull it out of the refrigerator for a couple hours before you take it. It's just
right,
another thing to do.
right.
If I can get by in life without another thing to do, then I'd rather do that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I was talking about that with somebody because like for me, self-care, we just talked about self-care, but it's like, every month I get a massage, I get a facial every month, I get my nails done, I get this, I do that. And I'm like, I mean, how many things do we do? You know what I mean? Like just to like, there's so many things to do. I meal prep, and actually I started getting meals from Clean Eats, which is like a meal
Mm.
prep company. They're like $7 a piece if you buy like 10. So, and you can freeze them. So I did that just as a backup because I sometimes just I get busy and I don't have somebody here with their Meals on Wheels anymore. So so I have these kind of as a backup, and it's been great because I'm like I can just like throw two of these in my bag if I don't know what time I'm coming home, and it'll be like my lunch and dinner, and I don't have to mess up my kitchen, and I don't have to go grocery shopping.
Right.
So um, now
What,
I think
just something less to do, a less.
something less to do. And again, like I don't have kids with me. I don't have a partner. I don't have any of that. I have lots of free time, but I do work a lot and I work out every day. And, I just want to sit and watch TV and not have to do shit sometimes.
Well,
And
yeah. And sometimes when something's got to give, it turns out to be like one of
my
your
food,
self-care, self-love things. It turns out like, okay, something's got to give. I'm going to skip the gym today. And then one day
right,
turns into two, turns into three, turns
right,
into a month. And it's like,
right,
okay, I got to get back into a routine when it's just like,
right.
let's unload something off of our plate somewhere else.
Right. And so for me, for the time being, for a couple, probably a few weeks, I'm just going to try it out. Is this kind of just having these meals already made for me? And then, like, I was thinking of making like a big pot of soup or something that I could kind of fill in because I just like soup and
And it's soup season. And
it's
I
starting
made
to
my
get
pot of
cooler.
soup last week. It wasn't even soup season yet. I don't
Mhm.
even care because I do love soup. And it's so
Yeah.
easy. And if I didn't eat the whole pot, I can put it in the little containers and freeze them and
Right.
pull it out when I need it. So soup is just one of those things where it's like, I feel like I want to get back into making like a soup every week and then some.
Right. Yeah, I think so. Me too. So I can prep a soup that'll be in my crock pot. It'll be super easy to make and then do these meals. And again, but just writing it down like today I'm going to have, whatever for breakfast, a soup for lunch, and one of these meals for dinner. And I'm going to have a protein shake and a sweet. That's it. That's all I need. Like what the one thing that Mounjaro did teach me is that I don't need a lot of food. Like
Right.
like my body does not need a lot of food. My mind might think it needs a lot of food and it'll play fucking tricks on you. But I think I'm like, oh my gosh, like that wasn't enough. But I'm like, but yeah, it was.
Right.
Like it was. It was
Right.
totally enough. And if you are hungry and 4 hours from now, you can eat again.
Right.
So
Exactly.
just let it go. So I need to get back to my planning. So yeah, the Manjaro did teach me what I actually need. Now I was telling Steph, I feel like the combination of coming off the Mounjaro and really, really getting into like heavy weightlifting has been kind of like a rainbow because I am hungrier. I'm doing a lot more work and I do need, more food to build muscle. And so, but I haven't gained weight. So I know whatever I'm doing now, I'm still within kind of a range, but I just don't want to I don't want it to catch up with me in 2 weeks what I'm doing
Right.
now.
Yeah,
Right.
that's where I was too. I was the same way. Like, okay, I was in a workout routine before this move where I was going 5, 6 days a week. And I was like, okay, so I'm hungrier because I'm working out more. The scale was maintaining and I was comfortable. And
Right.
it just was like, shit the bed. And next thing you know, here I am. And I'm like, but I'm recognizing it and I'm owning
Right.
it. And I got a plan in place.
Right. And at least, the people that we were before would have been like in fuck it mode for months.
Right.
Right. And or I would have swept it under the covers or under the rug or whatever the saying is. And not recognized it and not been like honest with myself about it and like, okay, why am I thinking I'm hungry? I just ate, but I'm not hungry. So I really love that Manjaro kind of taught me amounts of food that
Portions. Yeah. What you really do
portions,
need. Yeah.
yeah, and amounts. And then, I was kind of in my head counting calories, not because I just hate it, but with these meals, like they're like one was 350, one was 400, whatever. And I'm like, wow, even though I feel like I'm eating more, I'm still like eating 1,600 calories. Like that's not a lot for someone with a full tummy who lifts heavy weights every day. So, but I just need to at least, even if I continue to eat what I'm eating now or having a little snack here or there, I need to plan it so that I'm sticking to my promise to myself, because that's one thing I do for self-love. And that's how I've built my pride and my confidence and my ability to shut down that shitty bitch thought in my head. And so that's the big thing that I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I'm gonna also do the same thing with writing. I think I'm gonna write down, because if correct me if I'm wrong, but this is how you used to do it. You would write down what your plan is, and then you would follow back up in the evening and write down if you went off a plan and
Yeah.
like what happened there. So I think I'm
So yeah,
similar.
so I would write my plan down: breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. And then I would kind of next to it, I would be like, this is what I had for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, and snack. Now, when I'm on days when I'm not hungry because I listen to myself, I might not even eat my snacks. But on my days where I'm hungrier, then I eat all my snacks. And if I'm hungrier than what I planned, which I'm typically not, I will eat if I'm hungry, but then I would write it down and be like, this was off plan. This is why I chose to eat off plan or what have you. So yeah, so I would plan at night. So I went to bed knowing. And then before I planned at night, I would evaluate my day and then plan for the next day.
Right. And so now we're more so concerned with the plan that's in our heads, because we haven't been writing it down.
Right.
The off plan eating, the grab ass eating,
Mm-hmm.
the not stopping when we're full or not waiting until we're
I got these damn edamame like things from the Costco, and I every time I walk in the kitchen, I grab like a small handful, and I'm like, and I'm walking out of the kitchen thinking, I'm not hungry for these.
why am I doing this? Yeah.
but then I'm such a bitch sometimes. I'm like, but it's protein, I'm not hungry for.
Right. And
So
we both
stop with
know
the
you can
excuses.
overeat on healthy food too.
Yes.
Calories are calories, weather
Right.
granted. Good for you for making a good choice. You didn't choose
Right.
the 3 Oreos that I chose, but at the same time, you
I
can
wasn't
overeat on
hungry.
healthy food too.
Right. And so what I need to do is put those up in the cupboard so they're not on the counter. And kind of get maybe even portion them out and add
Yeah,
to my plan. I'm gonna
yeah.
have my snack today is gonna be edamame.
A portion of
A
edamame.
portion, which is a third of a cup. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna eat that. And then, if I want it on a day when it's not planned, I'll plan it the next day. And I got to kind of get back into that routine. That just was really what worked well for me. And again, I wasn't perfect. I wasn't going for perfection. There were plenty of days when I evaluated and I'm like, ooh, I had a salted caramel brownie today. But it wasn't every day. I
Right.
wasn't having a salted caramel brownie or a macaroon or 3 handfuls of edamame every day,
Right.
like
Yeah.
I have been doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so that's knowing, and we know our triggers, we know our kryptonites. It's kind of like that edamame has been posing a problem for you, so we can either just keep on doing what we're doing or do something about it. And so
right.
your plan is to portion them out, put them up, and put it on your plan if you want it. And the same for me. I know how I am with cookies, and so I chose not to get a cookie that I can shove in my face while I'm heating my food up. I bought
Mhm.
the snap and bakes that have to like, there's got to be some work involved to get there. I have to intentionally make those, bake those, and then eat those. And I think knowing myself, I think I would slow myself way down. I might eat one, but it's going to take a lot more work than to
Right. And
just
I
walk
think,
into the pantry and open the package and grab some out.
right. And so I think what a good idea for us to do, we didn't talk about this. I know we'll have to do our quarterly thing, what, in September? Or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So that's like a month from now, right? Oh, well, not even a month from now, a few weeks from now,
Yeah.
or what have you. So when we do our quarterly kind of evaluation, we'll see how well we did with writing things down and planning.
Which takes us to what's next. And to be honest with you, that probably will end up being next, the
Yeah.
quarterly pickup after what we've already recorded. So I think that will be, if it's not next, it'll be one or two after this one.
Next.
So So you can next, yeah. So you can follow up with this one.
Mhm.
Stay tuned and we'll see where we're at from kind of where we left off with coming off of Mounjaro. And I hope hopefully neither one of us needs to go back on it. And if we do, so be it. But if not, then I'm proud of us. I'm proud of us for recognizing it and trying either way.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm proud of us if we go back on it because it is a chronic disease and
Yeah.
it is, I mean, there is a reason that this works.
Right.
So, no one would not be proud of going on heart medication.
Right.
So, but we're
Right.
just going to try to do it without, now that we know what it is and how it works and how it feels in our body. But I think we have a good plan.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. All
All
right.
right.
Well,
We'll see you
I
next
mean,
time.
I'm sure I will talk to you about this plan.
Yeah.
Well, before we talk to everybody else about it. So Justin and I'll probably be, we got to be accountability buddies here and see where we stand with keeping track and me staying focused while traveling because I've just got back-to-back travel coming up, and so I need
Yeah,
to do the right.
I'm going to Florida next week, so I'm driving. So I'm going to
Okay.
take my road trip advice and put that into play.
Yeah.
And the girls will want to go out to eat. I'm sure I have to go to a couple of my favorite restaurants while I'm there, but I'm going to plan that
Yeah. Exactly.
and be mindful of the meals, the amount that I'm eating, and be mindful of the meals that I'm eating outside of those planned kind of local favorites.
And
So
we'll make sure we're posting on our Instagram like while we're doing it too, like
yeah,
for travel, and
yeah,
that we're gonna hold ourselves accountable that way as well.
yep. So all right, well, have a good day.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Bye.